Hey, this is Jordan Fulmer with Momentum Property Solutions, and just wanted to shoot a quick video to share some things that I've learned in Mailchimp. This is primarily for people that want to have a free account and want to set up automated emails to stay in touch with their clients, potential customers, or team members. And so just wanted to share what I've found in the last week or so with that. This is what you're seeing right now is just the dashboard that comes up when you first log into Mailchimp. So I've created basically a dummy account to kind of start off. Maybe you might just be getting started, and so this would be great for you. But either way, this is when you first log in. So first thing that you need in Mailchimp to be able to send out emails is contacts. So first thing we need to do is go go to our audience tab. So you can just click this audience tab here. And so right now, so with a free account, it's basically, I think Mailchimp used to call it lists, but now it calls it audiences. So with the free account, you only get one audience. So that's what it's showing here. So the first contact you have is yourself. So that automatically puts you in your list. So that's me right there. So obviously I need to add some more contacts so that I can actually reach out to my team members and things like that. So and potential customers. So to do that, you've got a couple of different options. So first you go to add contacts, and you can either manually add a subscriber or you can import contacts, and it gives you a couple different options for this. This is what I typically use. Usually I have maybe a spreadsheet of email addresses and names and other information of people that have either subscribed to using my website, or maybe like business cards that I've collected, things like that. But so it's pretty straightforward. You can actually copy and paste it in and do a mass bulk import, which is really nice. Obviously, you wouldn't want to import a bunch of people one by one. But for this, just as a demo, just going to do the add a subscriber, do it manually, just because I want to show you kind of how this works. So first thing, just add in their email address. I'm just going to put in just a dummy email, jordan1234@gmail.com, and call this Jordan Fulmer. And all this other stuff isn't really necessary. But tags here is very helpful. This is what I use a lot. So this is how you can segment your list or your audience. So you may have, in my business, in real estate, we have real estate agents, property managers, potential sellers, things like that, lenders. So you want to, segment your list. And the great thing with tags is you can add multiple tags to people in your audience. So maybe one person would have 3 or 4 tags, and you can have as many tags as you want. So here so I already have a tag here that I've automatically created, agents that I've already created, agents. So let's just pick that one and go with that. So this is going to be like a real estate agent for me. You can, whatever your business is, you can, make those what's necessary. You want to check this person gave me permission to email them, whether that be, they gave you their card or they subscribed to your channel, whatever it is, your website. You want to check that. I usually don't do this. This is basically saying, this allows you to overwrite something that's already there to maybe correct a contact that you had incorrect. Usually I'm bringing in unique contacts, so that's not really helpful, but that's something you can use. So now you just hit subscribe, and they are added to your list, to your audience. So you can see that. You go to back to manage contacts, view contacts, and there it is. So you can see the tag we added. So one thing I want to do is add a couple more tags. So you can go to manage contacts and tags. Like I said, these are really helpful, and you can add as many as you want. So just as a demo that I'm going to show you later, I'm going to add seller 1 and just hit create. You see it there, and then seller 2. And I'll explain this more later here shortly. Okay, so now we have at least a contact that we want to stay in touch with by email. So now we're ready to create our automated emails. So to do that, you can just go up here to the Automate tab, the drop down, and click Email. And then it gives you a bunch of different options. You know, they have featured workflows. This is actually the one that we'll use, but it's in multiple tabs here. So you can click on tags, and that's the one I typically use. You know, back in the feature, you can stay in touch with people, send something on their birthday if you have their birthday. But for this demo, just want to do the tag-based email. So this is a way to tag somebody based on when you, or to email somebody based on when you tag them. So your campaign name, you can put it whatever you want. This is just going to be, you know, internal for you to stay in touch or to keep up with it. So for this one, I'll just call it Agents 1. Hit begin. All right, so this is stuff that you'll need to edit. So right now it has a trigger to send one day after the tag is added to the contact. So what that'll do, you know, if you say if I added it today at 3:15, it would send them this email tomorrow at 3:15. So I want to edit that because I'm actually going to set up a series of emails that I want to send to people. This is somebody like on my team, my power team. So this one I want to send immediately, just right when they get it, or right when I add them, they're going to get this email. So select the tag, just use agents and update trigger. So now that's going to send it right when they get added. Schedule, this is another thing that I change basically every time. So as it is by default, it's going to send every day, all day. And the problem with that is if I add a tag to someone at, say, Saturday night at 11 p.m., it's going to send them that email right then. And you know, people aren't typically looking at their email on the weekend as much, especially late at night. So I'm going to edit this. And what I typically do is uncheck Saturday and Sunday so that it only sends on weekdays. And on the time, I'm going to change this to only send between. So usually I'm going to send it during like typical working hours. So, you know, and I'll give them a little bit of time in the morning so it's not right, you know, before they even start looking at their email. So I'll do like, you know, 9:30, it's a good time. And then between that and you can also change your time zone in your settings. So right now it's just Eastern time, but you can change it to whatever time zone you're in. And then I'm going to change it to PM. So between 9:30 a.m. and let's say 4 p.m. So that way it'll send during those working hours. So if it's outside of those, then it'll send it the next day at 9:30. Now you can say save schedule, filter by segment or tag. I usually don't do anything here, but post send action. This is pretty useful, and this is why I set up those other tags that I showed you before. So basically, this can do something special for you after this email is sent to that contact. So let's show you something here. So add, and then you can choose post send action. So you can do a few different things. Update merge field. This is going to be like changing their name or something, their birthday, any information that you have, any data in their contact. But what I typically use it for is removing tag. So on my website, I have a form. I actually have two forms, a series of forms that people can go through to fill out information about a property they might be interested in selling. The first one is very simple. It's just first name and email address. It's just to kind of get them, warmed up, and really it's to send them to a second form where they can put more information about their property. It's just kind of a stepped process because first form, if somebody looks at it and it's a bunch of information, they're not going to fill it out. So when they fill out that first form, they get tagged immediately with seller 1. So automatically they get added to that tag. And so what I'll do is I'll set up an automation to send them an email based on that. Now I won't send it automatically because we have that second form, and if they fill out the second form, then they will get added to seller 2. So at that point, they have the 2 tags, because remember, people can have multiple tags. So at that point, somebody's filled out both forms, we have all the information we need from them, and so with the seller 2 tag, we actually send them an email immediately, just to say, hey, thanks for filling out the information, we'll be in contact with you shortly about your property. So what I would do on that second email, on the seller 2 email, is do this exact thing, remove tag, and I would actually remove the seller 1 tag from their contact, because what the plan is, one day after they fill out that first form, I'm going to send them an email and say, hey, thanks for starting our form. We didn't get all the information we needed from you. Could you please follow this URL to give us a little more information about your property? Just to drip on them. They may have gotten busy, or saw the second form and gotten a little overwhelmed, whatever it may be. But we need to get that other information to help them out. So we're gonna send them a series of emails saying, hey, you're almost there, just need a little more information. So obviously we don't want to send them that if they've already filled out the second form, and we've gotten all the information we need. So that's a great way to do an automated post-send action there. So you can remove that tag. So that we use that quite a bit. So I'm not going to use that here, but just wanted to share that with you. Just a little bonus there. So now we're ready to design an email. So we have this automation set up. So you can just click here on design email, and you want to name your email. This is just for your use, so they're not going to see this. So I just call it agent 1. Email subject, this is something you want to be creative with to grab attention. So for here, just going to say just following up. But you can be creative with whatever makes sense for your business. Preview text, this is just going to be what they see under the subject. So another thing you can add in just to grab a little more attention, you can say, just wanted to follow up with you after our discussion. Okay. The from name, this is what they're going to see. So you can I usually put my full name. Email address, that's just by default, so I wouldn't change that. Hit next. Okay, now you can start designing your email. Mailchimp has different templates you can use. Typically I go with a simpler template just for me. I feel like sometimes if you go over the top and have a lot of pictures and graphic design and stuff like that, sometimes it will go in, especially in Gmail, go in their promotions tab, and they may not see it. So I want it to go in their main inbox. So I typically go with just something simple, just like this basic 1-column email. Now, as you create more emails, you can use campaigns, and this is really good. This is actually all I use now, because once you've created emails and you already have them formatted how you like them, you can go in here and all the emails that you've sent out will show up here. Now, obviously, I haven't created one, so nothing's here. But at that point, when you have them here, you can just basically plug and play. Maybe you want to keep all the formatting and just change the body of your email, and that's a great way to do that and save you some time. But for now, we can just go back to layouts and click on 1-column. All right, and so this is kind of how it starts out. So you can upload your logo into your settings, into your profile, and it'll automatically populate here. So that's a great way for some branding. And here's a body of your email. I like to delete this out because it's kind of formatted weird. So let's just delete that and start from scratch. So this is all your options here. You can plug and play all these different things here. For now, I'm just going to do some text and drop it into the body. Now you got a text block. So you can do whatever you want to here. I'll let you format it the way that you like, but I'll give you just some basic tips and tricks. So you can just say, hey, and merge tags. This is a really useful tool. So this is all of the data that you have stored under your contacts. So you can use first name. That's what I typically use. So you can click first name here, and it puts the code in there. So this will automatically update to whatever the contact's first name is. So Great way to personalize it. That's what I use a lot. And then, hey, Jordan Fulmer here. And then you can type out whatever you want to say in your email. And I'll leave that up to you based on your business and your niche. But you know, just whatever you want to say. Just wanted to follow up with you. You know, you can type that out. I'm not going to waste your time with that. But anyway, so that would be your body of your email. You can go in here and change the style. You know, I typically change a font. I like the Trebuchet personally, but you can use whatever you like. You can change the size, color of your text. Now this is going to be global changes. So if I change it here, say to red, it's going to make everything red. Now obviously, a lot of times you don't want to do that. You can change it to something, but I usually leave it black. Change your styles, all that stuff. I usually do modify the line spacing. So, you can change it to whatever you think, but whatever looks right for you. But I do usually modify that. Now, if you go back here, oh great, typo. You can change, now that on the style that was global changes, but here you can actually change local. So if you want to bold something or change the font color, whatever it may be. So it gives you a couple more options there. So at this point, so you've got your body of your email. If you want, you can use these social tags, social media platforms. So, if you're on Twitter or Facebook or even link to your website or YouTube channel, you can do that. So you'll need to update your profile to actually have your actual Facebook URL here, so it'll automatically populate there. But that's a nice little tool to keep people engaged and funnel them into your website or Facebook page, whatever your goal is. And so just going to leave that how it is for now. So at this point, save and close, and we're ready to save and continue. So now we've got our email designed. Everything is ready to go. Now, this is the difference between a free account and a paid account. So if you had a paid account, you can upgrade to add emails, or actually at this point it would just say add another email. So you could create all your series of emails here in this campaign. Well, the free account doesn't let you do that. It only allows you to do one. So if you're like me, in my business I have a lot of expenses and I try to control what I spend money on month to month. And so obviously as we grow, we can add tools, paid accounts, things like that, and it adds a lot of functionality, I'm sure. But for when you're first getting started, it's great to have free tools, and so that's what I'm wanting to share with you here to make it work with a free account. So if you have the paid account, you could add it here, but I'm going to show you how to do it with the free account. So just hit next at this point, and then start sending. Start sending again. All right, so now we go to our campaigns. And there it is. So that's your campaign that we just created. So it's sending. So now if we add a tag, add that tag to somebody in our contact list, they're going to get that email. So that's awesome. And so now we want to, the goal here is to add a series to stay in touch with people. So we're going to create a second one. So you can just go up here to create campaign. This is just another way to create one. It's the same thing we did before. Just hit email and then hit automated. And so let's do this again. So just go to tags and click on that workflow there. So now we're just going to say agents 2. Begin. Okay, so now we've got the same look as that we had before. The only difference here that we want to do is on the trigger. So the last one we did was immediately after we tagged them. So now we want to change this to, what I typically do is a couple weeks after. I mean, you don't want to be bombarding people with emails usually, except the only difference is that the form tag that I had before, if somebody didn't fill out the form all the way, I'll actually stay more on top of them and try to get them to fill it out. But usually just the team members and things like that, I'll do 2 weeks, and then I'll send them another one, say in a month, and then another one in 3 months, whatever makes sense for you. But that's what I'm doing here. So just go here and select agents again. So it's the same tag, and they're just going to get their second email. Update trigger. And at that point, you would just go through the same exact thing we just went through. So change the schedule and design your second email, and then you're ready to go. And so you can create as many of these as you want, and then you've got a campaign set up to where they're going to get emails at specific times, and you set it to run, and you don't have to think about it anymore. So they're going to stay in touch. You stay in touch with them. They're going to remember your business. Okay, so at this point we're ready to go, and it's going to give me an error when I hit next because I haven't created the email, but you would just go through and create the email the same way we created the first one. So we can just save and exit, go back to our campaigns, exit without starting. And at that point, you've got your two emails. This one says draft, of course, because it doesn't have an email attached to it yet. But if you create one there, you've got a series of emails to stay in touch with your audience. And so you can do this for all your tags, create a bunch of different campaigns. And at that point, it's all automated. So you don't have to think about it anymore. And so that's pretty much it. Just wanted to share with you, kind of what I've learned, especially for the free account. So I hope this was helpful. If this is something I've learned here in the recent past. So if you have a better option, a better way to do this, feel free, please comment below and let us know. We're definitely trying to grow and learn or grow our skill set. So we'd love to hear from you there. If you found this helpful, like the video and visit our page, subscribe, and figure out or just see some more videos that we've posted. So thanks a lot.